everybody, it's the War Hipster here, coming at you with another Contrast Plus painting tutorial, and today we are painting the absolutely magnificent new Iridan the Witness. Yes, here they are, an absolutely spectacular miniature, and well, massive thank you to Games Workshop for sending me this one early to build up and paint with all of you. I've been very excited for Iridan, and well, we are going to jump in and we are going to start painting. So, the colour we've been going to be using first is some Seraphim Sepia, and it has been primed in Grey Seer. Now we're going to be using this Seraphim Sepia over the top of what will be the most pale feathers. So we're starting up here on the neck of the Morgryph, who has a name but I can't remember what it is. So we want to get this all over. Like so. And then we're also going to apply it over the top of the next rung of feathers. Like that. And then we're going to apply it over the top of that amount of feathers on the next rung along. We do have the underside of the beak to do as well. In there like that. We have the eyes and the ears. Like that. And then we also have the underside of all the wings to do. However, we do just have the rest of the head to do first. With that Seraphim Sepia applied, we're then going to take some Reikland Fleshshade, and we're going to apply this over the exact same areas. So with that Reikland Fleshshade applied, like so, what we're going to do now, it's still drying, so in the interest of keeping things moving along, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Cygor Brown, and we're going to apply this over the top of the front feet. So with that all done, and once all of the feathers are fully dry, what we're going to do is we're going to dry brush them. I'm going to start by taking some Flayed One Flesh, and I'm going to use this over the top of all of our Reikland Fleshshade and Seraphim Sepia feathers. And with that Flayed One Flesh dry brush all applied, we're then going to add another dry brush, only this time we're going to be using some Pallid Witch Flesh. I'm going to be much more gentle over this bit now. And so with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some Black Legion and we're going to apply this over the top of all the remaining feathers. Just like this. One area we're also going to apply this over the top of is the claws, well, talons, and the hood. So with all of that Black Legion applied, as you can see, there's a lot of Black Legion. What we're now going to do is we're going to dry brush all of the black. And we're going to use some Dark Reaper to do this. It's not going to look like it's doing very much initially. This is just our first highlight. I should clarify, we're only doing this over the top of the feathers. And with all that dark Reaper dry brushing applied, it's then going to seem a little bit weird, but what we're going to do is we're going to take some grey cere and we're going to very, very gently dry brush this now over the top of all of our black feathers. So with that all done, the black feathers of the Morgryph are now finished, including like the flesh and things underneath and all that kind of stuff. But what we're going to do now is we're going to move on to the next colour, which is going to be a roughly 4 parts Cygor Brown to 2 parts Lahmian medium mix. So it's a 2-to-1 in that favour. And this is because what we want to do is we want to apply this over the top of all of the leather details. However, we don't want it to look exactly the same as the feet, and we want to kind of bring out the ready properties of Cygor Brown. So we just dilute the mixture a little bit with the Lahmian medium, but we use the Lahmian medium to keep the flow flowing nicely. As you can see, it gives you this lovely, slightly paler than the feet. This is gorgeous reddy brown. Like so. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take 3 colours. We're going to take Bad Moon Yellow, Gryph-Charger Grey and Black Legion. And we're going to be using this over the top of the eyes and the beak. So we're actually going to start with Bad Moon Yellow. And we're going to apply this over the top of the eyelid and the eye, just for now. Like that. Then I'm going to take the Bad Moon Yellow and we're going to apply this like so over that kind of section of the beak, like that. Then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, grab some Gryph-Charger Grey, and then we're going to apply this like so over the rest of the beak. Wash the brush and use a little bit of Bad Moon Yellow just to Smooth out that transition there, closer to the hood. I'm just going to do the other side as well with the Gryph-Charger Grey. Wash the brush. Grab a little bad moon yellow. Use that to smooth. And then wash the brush one more time and grab some Black Legion. And then we're going to apply this over the top of the underside of the beak. Then we're going to apply it like that around the kind of curvature in the beak. Wash the brush, grab some Gryph-Charger Grey, and then use this to just kind of blend the two colours together. Like that sort of thing. And so with that then done, we're going to take a little bit of Black Legion and we're going to apply this over top of the eyeballs. And with that then done, we're going to take a little bit of Fuegan Orange. I'm going to apply this over the top of the back part of the beak. So we just want to kind of get it in there. Like that, to kind of pull the Bad Moon Yellow and the Gryph-Hound Orange together. So with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Retributor Armour and we're going to apply this all over the top of all of our gold details. Now this is going to include Iridan's armour as well. And so with all of that Retributor armour applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Iron Warriors. And we're going to apply this similarly over the top of all of our silver details. So this is going to include all of the remaining areas on the Morgryph, but we are going to be also picking out the axe and all the chainmail and things like that on Iridan. So with all of that Iron Warriors applied, we're now going to take some Talassar Blue and we're going to apply this over the top of the cloak and the trim of all of the mail. With all that Talassar Blue now applied, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Ultramarines Blue and we're going to apply this over the top. with that all done, we're then going to take some Blood Angels Red and we're going to apply this over top of the grip of the axe. And so with that then done, we're going to use Black Legion once again, and we're going to use this over the top of the belts, the boots, any gaps that you can find in the armour. So there's one here, but what we're also going to do with the Black Legion is we're going to use this over the top of the hourglasses. And so with that Black Legion all applied, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde and we're going to apply this over the top of all the parchment. And so with that then done, we're going to take two colours, Frostheart and Black Templar. I'm going to use these to do the smoke on the weapons and his back. So we're going to start with the Frostheart. I'm going to apply this all over. Just like that, and we'll do both sides. Like so. Then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and then grab some Black Templar. I'm going to apply this over the top, down to around about there. And again, we're going to do it on both sides. So, then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and grab some Frostheart once again. We're just going to use this to kind of smooth out the transition. Just like that. So with that all done, we've now got all of our base coats on Iridan the Witness, so it's time to add some shades. And the first of these is going to be a roughly 1-to-1 mix of Fyreslayer Flesh and Larmian Medium. I'm going to be applying this over the top of all of the gold. And so with all of that, Fyreslayer Flesh all applied. We're then going to take some Nuln Oil. I'm going to use this to shade all the silver. Like that on the axe. What we're also going to do here is we're going to use the Nuln Oil to shade the claws of the Morgryph. Like that. So with that all done, Iridan the Witness is now at what I would call a war hipster battle ready, and it's looking pretty cool. However, we are of course not going to leave it there. No, we're going to take it to the next level. I'm going to do this by adding some highlights and some layers and a little bit of freehand and one glaze. So we're going to actually start with that glaze, and what we're going to do is, I'm a little bit unhappy with how that beak currently looks, so what I want to do is I want to take some thinned down Russ Grey, and I'm going to apply this over the beak. However, to make this sentence make more sense, the Russ Grey has been thinned down with sort of 4 or 5 parts water, and just in this area here, what I want to do is add a little glaze of the Russ Grey. It's really thin, as you can see on my thumb. So I'm going to apply this over that section there. Like that. So with that now done, I'm feeling a little bit more happy with that beak. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the highlighting. And we're actually going to kick things off with some thinned down Gorthor Brown. I'm going to use this to highlight the scales on those front feet of the Morgryph. And we're also going to use it to highlight all the leather. With that Gorthor Brown all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Eshin Grey. I'm going to use this to highlight the hood. So with that Eshin Grey applied to the hood, what we're then going to do is we're going to take some thinned down Dawnstone, and we're going to use this to add some spot highlights to the hood. So we're just going to pick out the sharpest areas, like for example around here. However, what we're also going to do with the Dawnstone now is going to use this to highlight all of our other black details, such as the talons and the black areas of the beak. and the belts and things on Iridan. So with all that Dawnstone applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Administratum Grey, and we're going to use this to add some little spot highlights to all of our other black details. So for example, on the claws, well, talons, we're just going to add a little bit of it towards the tips, just to make them look razor sharp. So with that done, we also added a little dot of Administratum Grey in the back corner of each of the eyes. So what we're going to do to actually finish off the eyes is we're going to take some thinned down Skrag Brown. I'm going to add a little highlight around the bottom third. Just like that sort of thing. It's a really subtle little line. So with that then done, we're going to take some thinned down Screaming Skull, and we're going to use this to highlight the yellow parts of the head, like so, and we're going to use this to highlight the parchment. So with that all done, we've actually done a vast amount already of Iridan the Witness. However, we've still got quite a fair bit to go. Now what we're going to do next is we're going to work on one of the kind of main feature colours, which is all of the gold, and there's a couple of different relayers that are going to happen here, but they will happen in order, so just bear with just for the moment. Now the first that we're going to do is some thinned down Retributor Armour, and we're going to be applying this over top of all of our flat parts of armour. So this is including on the Morgriff, and there's two areas across the whole model that are going to be even brighter than this, but we're still going to do them. So one is the trim here, including all the skull on the front, and the other is the back assembly, not the spikes, you don't need to worry about them, but the back assembly of Iridan. So still going to relayer because we want them to be bright, but they're going to get relayered again after that. I just want everyone to be aware and ready. But anyway, for now, we're just going to focus on the Retributor Armour, like so. just avoiding any recesses, or indeed any of the tiniest details. For example, things like the gauntlets on Iridan. So with all that Retributor Armour reapplied, what we're then going to do is take some thinned down Liberator Gold. And we're going to use this over the top of those two areas we talked about. So we're going to be using this over the top of the trim and the skull. Down here. Like that sort of thing, make it nice and bright. And then we're also going to be using it, as mentioned, over the top of that back assembly. Like that sort of thing. So with that Liberator Gold all applied, what we're then going to do on these lower bits of armour on the Morgryph is we're going to take just a little amount of Fuegan Orange, and we're going to apply this over the top of the bits where we added the Retributor Armour. We don't need very much, so just be careful. What we want to do is just add a little bit of heat into these bits. Which a Fuegan Orange does nicely. Like so. I'm going to do it down here as well, on the legs. And so with that all done, what we're now going to do is we're going to highlight all of the gold using a roughly 2 parts Stormhost SIlver to 1 part Retributor Armour mix. And this might take a little while. But once it's done, he's really going to start popping. So with all that gold now highlighted and finished, as you can see, the model, as promised, is really starting to pop. So what we're going to do now is move on, and we're going to take some thinned down Hoeth Blue, and we're going to use this to highlight all of Iridan's blue cloaky bits. So with all that Hoeth Blue applied, we're then going to take some thinned down Fenrisian Grey, and we're going to use this to add some little spot highlights to the sharpest points in all that blue. So with that all done, the blue is now finished, so what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the silver. And the colour we're going to be using first here is some thinned down lead belcher. What we're going to do is we're going to apply this over the top of the axe. But what we're going to do is we're going to apply this like so, coming down the cutting edge of the axe like that. Then we're going to wash the brush, touch off the water, and then we're just going to feather away at that transition down at the bottom there to blend it in to our shaded metal underneath. And we're going to do that on both sides of the cutting edge, but for the rest of it we are just going to do a full relayer once we remove the tiny little hair from the end of our brush. So with that lead belcher all applied, we're then going to take some thinned down iron breaker, and we're going to use this to highlight all of our silver. So with all that iron breaker now applied, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Hoeth Blue. I'm going to use it in two different ways. So the first way is we're going to take it thinned down with roughly sort of 3 or 4 parts water to make it nice and runny. And we're going to apply this inside the runes on the axe. Just like that sort of thing. However, what we're also going to do with the Hoeth Blue is going to take it in a format that's a little bit less runny, kind of our normal thinned downness, and we're going to use this to highlight the smoke at the kind of base parts of it. So for example, on the axe we've got this little section in here, and on the brazier we just want to kind of add it in towards the base. Like that sort of thing. And so with all that Hoeth Blue applied, we're then going to take a small amount of Corax White, and we're going to apply this to the very center of the spiral. Like that sort of thing. And we're also going to use this to highlight a little badge on the chest. So with that all done, there's just two things left to do, and one of those is to take some Blood Angels Red. I'm going to apply this over top of any little gems, and there aren't many. There's this one here on the chest. There's one on the back. Like that. And I'm pretty sure that's it for gems. Yes. And with that Blood Angels Red all applied, our other task is to take some Cygor Brown. I'm going to use this to add a little text. To all the parchment. And so with that all done, Iridan the Witness is now finished and looks absolutely fantastic. So what we're going to do now is we're going to very quickly work on the base, and well, we're going to start by taking some Stirland mud, and we're going to apply this all over the top of all of the negative space. Around the base. If you want to, what you can also do here with the Stirland mud, if you want to just save yourself some time, which I am going to do, I just said the magic words to myself, is we can take the Stirland mud and actually just overlap it onto all that soil that's there. Saves us a contrast layer after all. So with all of that Stirland mud applied, what we can now do is we only have to use two different contrast colours, And well, the first of these is Black Templar, and we're going to apply this over top of all of the rocks. With all that Black Templar applied to all the rocks, I have actually lied to you. There are 3 contrast colours on there because there is a skull that I forgot that existed. But before we get to that, what we're going to do is we're going to take some Wyldwood and we're going to apply this over the top of the beam. And with all that Wyldwood applied, we're then going to take some Skeleton Horde. I'm going to apply this over the skull. And so with that all done, we're now going to dry brush the entirety of the base using some Tyrant Skull. And so with the base now complete, our Iridan the Witness is now finished. I really love this model. I think it's absolutely fantastic. A wonderful addition to the Stormcast on Big Thing range, of which there's been quite a few of those in recent times. Well, ever since Stormcast released, right? But I really like this one. I think the Morgryph's an absolutely wicked addition. It's great. If you enjoyed this video, you love the channel and you'd like to support me further, you absolutely can do so by heading to patreon.com/warhipster, just like all of these wonderful amazing people have done. And alternatively, you could become a YouTube channel member by clicking on the join button below, exactly like these fabulous folks have done scrolling up on the screen before you. There are so many of you out there that it really takes my breath away, and I cannot thank you enough for everything you do, as without you I wouldn't be able to keep making these Contrast Plus videos. And if you really like this video and you want to send me a little thanks, just click on the thanks button just below this video. Don't forget to share it, like it, comment on it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and to make sure you stay up to date, don't forget to click the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon in the next one. Happy wargaming.